Welcome, boys and some girls. Insane and Strong. This week I watched Windbreaker, and in one of the episodes we got introduced to an interesting character named Choji, which we are going to call the ISC, Strong and Insane Character, or like Insane and Strong Character, ISC, it's not SIC. Anyway, this is what we're gonna call it for the rest of the video. Also, this one was missing from the previous character overview video, so here you go. Spoilers for the following anime. Okay, let's start. The ISC. The ISC adds a lot of fun to the scene it's in by usually acting funny or fighting in a unique style that you have never seen before in this series. Also, the IC usually isn't the main character, but a plot device for the main character to evolve or maybe improve on an aspect they are weak at. Usually the mental part, like of the personality. And the IC is usually an fair person and won't use dirty tricks. They look for the fun in life, they respect the strong, they respect strength, and they don't take life very seriously. They often act like a kid and talk like a kid. For example, wanting to start a fight in a hurry, just rushing to the enemy, or maybe wanting something right now and having no internal power to wait like adults. In Windbreaker, as I said before, such character arrives at the school and initiate a duel between a few main characters from one school and a few main characters from the other school. And even when their own faction, the enemy faction, wants to do a free-for-all brawl, everybody versus everybody, just start hitting, the ISC stopped them and tell them, nope, we need to do this fairly. So I'm gonna get to a few more examples. I'm gonna expand on what I just talked about. The character that kind of sparked this whole video, Choji, which I just talked about again in the intro, is a leader for the opposing school to the main character school. And he arrives at the main character school with a very big smile on his face, screaming that he wants to fight the school's top dog. And a few scenes later, it's decided that a few selected individuals from their school will fight a few selected individuals from the other school in 1v1 battles at a later date. The ISC Choji wanted to fight right now. This is why he came there. He wanted to fight right now. But his second in command changed his opinion by saying to him that if more people are gonna fight, it's gonna be more fun. And as I said before, they like fun. So obviously he agreed to have more people fighting against each other, and they just postponed the battles and made it more orderly. During the battles, you can see how Choji, the IC, I'm gonna repeat a few times until it's gonna get in your head, he treats his school like losers, like they're trash. And every time that somebody from his school loses, he just tells the other students in his school to get rid of this person that lost like trash. And the students obviously are scared of him, so they get up and get rid of the corpse. They're not dead, but they're unconscious. So and they're very lazy. So instead of taking him all the way to somewhere outside the arena, just throw him downstairs, just roll him off the stage. Nobody cares, just like a corpse on the ground like this. And it's very much helping you see and building the character for this guy, how much he doesn't give a crap about his people. He only cares about fighting, having fun. That's it, nothing else. You can see his faces or how his mood changes from happy to sad very fast, almost without any reason. He can be very like no emotion. Something very bad is happening and he just doesn't care. He might be sleeping, he might be doing something else. He just in his own world, just has a very specific objective, and that's it. Don't care about anything else. Another interesting example is Hisoka from Hunter x Hunter. Now, I'm sure that if you watched Hunter x Hunter, just by saying the name, you get like goosebumps, remembering the scenes or how he's talking quietly and how much he loves kids in a unique way. Let's just say he's a certain kind of file. Hisoka's whole point is he loves to see somebody's hope getting crushed. He loves to build stuff up and watch them fall. And for that reason, he helps build and protect the main character of Hunter x Hunter, Gon. He very much, you can see it when he's fighting. Whenever he's getting hit, you can hear it in his voice, see it in his face. He's sexually enjoying getting hit, mainly by little boys, but overall, he enjoys the fight. He's crazy about fighting. He enjoys destroying hopefulness in people, and he doesn't care about anything else. Nothing is gonna stop him. Nobody's gonna stop him. He has an objective, again, enjoying whatever he wants to do, which is fighting and destroying other people. He, in contrary to what I just said before, he can wait, and he waits for quite a lot of time because he has an objective. His objective is to, again, destroy someone's hope. So he's waiting, he's building, he's protecting Gon, the main character from Hunter x Hunter, until that he's reaching to the level that he feels it's good enough of a time to destroy him. Now this one, I'm not sure if it counts. When you put it like dryly and just look at the facts, this one fits. It's Zeno from Dragon Ball. This guy, I should say this god, is almighty. He can do anything and destroy everything in just one move, and he acts very much like a child, and he only wants to make friends and watch people fight, just enjoy whatever he can. And he's very much like a child in the way that also he talks very much like a child. He doesn't care. Whatever his feelings are right now is what's important. He doesn't care about anything. He can just flick planet and destroy two planets because they collide, and he just doesn't care what happens to it. Just whatever he wants to do right now. And in the series, he's basically like the king of everything there is. There is a whole saga with the tournament in his honor, I should say, or just watches some people fighting, and it's a way for the characters to improve, and you can see some interesting stuff. If you watch Dragon Ball, obviously the what is called Ultra Instinct is happening in this saga, and that's it. My next example has already been talked about briefly, like 2 sentences, in my stupid review of Batum, and the character is Kosuke. This guy isn't shown like a lot throughout all the series. Is shown like 1 or 2 episodes and a few minutes in each one of them, not a lot. But whenever he is shown, he most definitely shows his insane nature. He's, I think he's like identified as a psychopath, and he killed his entire family, like just doesn't care. And whenever he's killing, he doesn't feel that it's wrong. He doesn't understand why. He was one of the best in the game, that is the Batum game. It's the name of the series. He was one of the best at that game, and he's still one of the best now when they're on the island playing like real life Batum. He's still one of the best in the game. My last example is also gonna be like a transition to the next segment, and the guy I'm talking about is Keru from Redo the Healer. Now, if you watch this, if you know the series, you know what I'm talking about, you know what's coming. If you didn't, just this can be kind of disturbing, so prepare yourself. This series is borderline hentai, and it shows a very deranged dude that has been through quite a lot of torture. It's not happening just out of nowhere. Yes, he's been drugged, he's been raped, he's been forced to do some horrible stuff, he's been beaten every day, he's been forced to act like a sex slave, and all of that like happening all the time over years by people that are called the hero. They're not really heroes, as you can see from what's happening. Basically, he gets to go back in time and redo, which is why it's called Redo the Healer. He gets to redo most of what happened. Now he's still going through all the horrible stuff, but the change is that now he has some kind of like resistance to the drug that's been forcing him to act this way. He's been acting like a dog because of some certain drugs they gave him, and then you can see him turning everything around, and he's going batshit crazy. He's just doing a lot of what they did to him to them, but in an extreme case. Now if you watch the anime, yes, it's disturbing, but the manga is way worse. There's a certain part, I don't know if I can say this, if you are don't like very graphic stuff, you can kind of skip this part, maybe skip like a few minutes, it's gonna be fine. And there's a certain character that hates men, and she's always used to prey on women or little girls. And when he gets her in the anime, he does kind of a horrible thing to her. She's placed with some kind of meat-eating people or stuff like that. Just, yes, it's horrible, but it's not as insane. In the manga, he's forcing her to satisfy the men that are eating her, all while they're still eating her flesh. He gives them like a drug, and while she's taking care of them, like sexually, they are not biting her. But when she stops taking care of them sexually, they keep on eating her meat. And he's just leaving her there with like 3 of those men. She's weakened, and she hates men, don't forget that, very much. Like she's puking from... Previously she kissed him, and then she found out he's a man, and she just puked. She was disgusted by him. There is more, not gonna get into all of it, but she's very much disgusted by men. And in the manga, eventually you just see like the next panel is like her skeleton in the morning, and all the 3 dudes are dead that he killed. It's very much batshit crazy. The guy is extremely strong. He has an objective. He wants to get revenge on everything that has been done to him. He's not playing fair. He's almost contrary to most of the stuff that I said, like being just about fair. It's kind of is fair, but he's gonna get to his revenge by any means necessary. He doesn't care, and it's kind of interesting to see where he's going with this journey. As I said, this is leading me to the next part, which is the reason for such character to exist and how and why they are born, basically. And just like it previously talked about, like 1 minute ago, if you did like, skip it, then usually what's happened to those characters is a past that is riddled with horrible experiences that sometimes are shown to the audience and sometimes are not shown to us, and they're used to explain to the viewer how can such a ruthless and horrible character exist and why he does what he does. Some characters can be ruthless and horrible just for the sake of it, and some of them actually have a reason for why it's happening, and it's totally dependent on the series creator, how they use it. They can use it for good or just use it for bad. Most usage as characters, as the ISC sees in anime, is to challenge the MC and evolve him, improve him, his personality, his mentality, also is physically. As I said before, the ISC is usually fighting like in a different way, so the MC now how to find a unique fighting style, a unique move to basically overcome this difficulty. Also, I believe that this kind of a character is not something you meet in real life a lot. Most people don't act this way. Most people are regular people. Maybe they have a different opinion than you, but they're pretty much normal people. So when you meet this in an anime, it's unique. It's fresh. You haven't seen this before. So it's interesting to see. I think this is why such characters are actually an improvement to anime. Basically, to sum this up, the ISC is an important tool to help advance the plot or the main character, and its use is obviously dependent on the series creator, and he has or she has the ability to use it for good or for bad, to have a reason to place the character in the series or not. And personally I appreciate good uses for such characters, but this character is not an exception to the overall thing that's plaguing anime right now, which is my opinion, is the checklist thing. A lot of animes just put the character in, put this character in. You gotta have all the characters, then you can appeal to the maximum amount of audience, because this guy likes this kind of character, that girl likes this kind of characters, and if you have all of them, you have the ability to draw in all kinds of crowds. However, when you do that, a lot of time you're left with a very bland and not very deep meaning series. It could be fun. Some of those shows that I'm talking about right now that have a checklist are funny. You can enjoy 12 episodes, but you're not gonna sit there after the series and be like, wow, this has been something. You're not gonna sit at home or like at a friend's home 2 years later and you say, oh, you remember watching this? Oh, this was so amazing. You're not gonna do that because it's forgettable. Nothing very interesting happened. I can continue talking about this, but that's a whole thing for another episode. Anyway, if you like this one, thank you. If you didn't, well, you wasted your time. What can I do? Keep yourself safe and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.